So obviously this is a channel all about Digimon V-Pets, but I probably wouldn't have discovered these lovely keychains without first falling in love with Tamagotchi as a kid. I was a huge fan of that original Gen 2 I had, and the numerous Kusachi and Takochi I would raise, and I would be brought back into V-Pets once again with the first version of the Tamagotchi connection. You may recall almost a year ago, I highly recommended those that love Digimon V-Pets should check out the re-release of the Tamagotchi Connection V3, which I have continued to enjoy. I also talked about how modern Tamagotchi just aren't really my thing for a number of reasons, one of which being the designs of modern Tamagotchi characters. In the time since that video, I have tried the Tamagotchi Uni and found that it was not really my jam, not just for the designs but for the gameplay, and figured I didn't need to bother trying any other modern Tamagotchi. I was wrong. Bandai slapped me in the face and said, "You want cute classic blob-like designs? Fine, take them, and we'll even give you Digimon Pendulum fields to boot." After a period of lead-up that included a short comic, the Tamagotchi Paradise has been revealed, and I cannot believe how excited I am for a new modern Tamagotchi device. The Tamagotchi Paradise is a big chunk of a device, being considerably wider, taller, and thicker than the Tamagotchi Connection or Uni. Part of this heft comes from its usage of AAA batteries rather than a rechargeable cell, like other recent modern Tamagotchi have used. Apart from its size, the most striking feature you'll see right away is the crown at the top right. Now, most sources, including Bandai themselves, are calling this a dial, but that is a lie which I will not perpetuate, so I won't be calling it that. Tamagotchi are based on pocket watches, and that part on a pocket watch is called the crown. The dial is the face of the watch, and this naming blunder is at the moment my greatest complaint with what we have seen so far. So I guess that bodes well for the rest of this preview. As for its purpose, this crown can be rotated to zoom in and out during gameplay, allowing you to go as far out as outer space, or all the way into the actual cells of your Tamagotchi, which does have gameplay functionality. We also see a cracked shell piece at the top of the device, and while Tamagotchi has over the years experimented with various connection protocols, including infrared and Wi-Fi, we're going back to the basics with this one with the classic Digimon Dock and Rock system. Flip open the top of the device, and there are 3 metal prongs, similar to the setup the Digimon Pendulum X introduced, as well as some clips to help keep the device stable while connecting, which, as someone who has had many awkward IRL battle attempts with Digimon, those stabilizers are a very welcome addition. Prongs aren't unprecedented for Tamagotchi, of course, as after the release of the original Digital Monster Pet, the prong system was reused for the Osuchi and Mesuchi devices. These connections between devices will result in various interactions, including breeding. As for the raising mechanics and gameplay, I'm not going to go into detail on all that in this video, but the official site has a ton of information you can look through if you want to see more. I do very much want to talk about the roster this time around, and that's what really piqued my interest and is why I'm talking about the device in the first place. See, if you know me, you know what really solidified my love for Digimon V-Pets was the Digimon Pendulum series, and the concept of fields was something that really appealed to me. My first 2 pendulums were Deep Savers because I love aquatic creatures in general, and Wind Guardians because I'm also a big fan of birds. Eventually, I would also realize that I loved beetles a good amount, and would get Nature Spirits sometime later. These 3 fields were the ones most based on the natural world, and were what really appealed to me. I did at some point find a great deal on getting the remaining 3 versions of the pendulum, so I thought why not and got those 2. But it's those first 3 I acquired that I would actually spend time with still. So now let's look at the options we have for the Tamagotchi Paradise. Pink Land, Blue Water, and Purple Sky. Literally, Nature Spirits, Deep Savers, and Wind Guardians. Now, they aren't one-to-one of course, but the parallels are absolutely there, and that's something I'm willing to bet will appeal to a lot of Digimon fans, especially fellow pendulum lovers. Now here's the real fun part. Despite us associating fields with Digimon all this time, this concept was really introduced by Tamagotchi as well. Shortly after the original Digital Monster, a Tamagotchi game for Game Boy was released, called Tamagotchi 2, discovered in the game. And this game included Mushichi and Sakanachi, or in other words, Bug Tamagotchi and Fish Tamagotchi. Bugs and fish. Sound familiar? That's right, a full year before Nature Spirits gave us a focus on bugs and other types of Digimon, and Deep Savers gave us a focus on oceanic Digimon, Tamagotchi was already pumping out characters into those same 2 fields. Again, not perfect matches, but really darn similar. These fields would then go on to receive their own devices with the Discovered in the Forest and Discovered in the Ocean Tamagotchi, one of which was very good, and the other of which hates you personally, and both of them would show up in other Tamagotchi video games as well. Of course, you could also say that Nightmare Soldiers and Virus Busters stem from Tamagotchi as well, but that's not the topic of the day. It does raise the question, though, of when we'll see a Tamagotchi Metal Empire equivalent. Okay, so that's enough gushing about fields. What does it actually mean for the roster? Well, take a look. This here is every Tamagotchi we will be seeing on the device, including these secret characters, like Gamamon. I took all the images that Bandai provided from the official site and arranged them into a big circle because I thought it would look nice, and I'd say it does. One thing you'll notice right away is the designs are overwhelmingly simple compared to most modern Tamagotchi, which I consider a very welcome change of pace. There's a mix of longtime classic characters like Mamechi and Kuchipachi, because they follow the Agumon rule where it's illegal to make new devices without them, as well as a good number of characters from the aforementioned Game Boy game, like Kamechi the Turtle and Kabutochi the Beetle, both of whom I am very excited to see. The large majority, though, are brand new characters, and there are some real standouts like the Newt, the Kiwi, the Gecko, the Sea Slug, and Gatsumon. The chart here is divided in 3 for each field, but one great thing to point out is that you can raise all of these beautiful creatures regardless of which device you get, as the color device you choose will only determine your starting fields. All 3 fields can be unlocked on each device, and your starting Baby Maruchi will evolve based on which field it is in. Each field has a specific child stage, and from there each child can evolve into one of 4 teens, each representing their own category of creature. Roar species, carnivores represented by this vicious bear, Toddle species, herbivores represented by the mighty cow, Lick species, reptiles represented by a dying Charmander, Sprout species, plants represented by a Dragon Quest slime, Glide species, lungborn aquatic creatures represented by a whale, Leap species, amphibians represented by a ping pong player, Paddle species, fish represented by a fish, Float species, aquatic invertebrates represented by a fast way to end your fun at the beach, Flap species, flying creatures represented by a harpy, Bumble species, insects represented by the Hudge, Chirp species, grounded birds represented by a chicken nugget, and Rocky species represented by the Bestigon. Each of these teens can then in turn evolve into one of the adults of that species. Now you may have noticed some placement oddities, especially with rocks and bugs being placed in sky instead of land, or how this grounded Unipig is in sky while Gamamon is flying around in land, but, don't worry about it. The point is, there's a ton of great options here, and I'm willing to bet most Digimon VPET fans will see something that connects with them. Now, I know what you're thinking. Humilos, I really like some of these designs, but I wish they were a different color and had different eyes. Well, good news, gene mixing is on the table, as seen on some other Tamagotchi I never played. If you connect with another device and your Tamagotchi both hit it off, then you may end up with an egg. The egg will hatch into a baby Maruchi that features the color of one parent and the eyes of the other, which will follow them through all of their evolutions. So even if you already raise a certain character, you may end up with it looking very different the next time you do. So that's all I'm going to say about the Paradise for now, and the question is of course whether I will actually enjoy the gameplay of the device, and at this point, I don't know. Like I said earlier, I didn't care for the Uni, and this will surely borrow a lot from that Tamagotchi. But if things are different enough, the roster may be able to keep me interested on its own. Really, I just love to see them doing designs like this, and have to give it a shot just for that. Pre-orders are up in some parts of the world already, but haven't gone live in the United States just yet. But these should be releasing in July and will retail for $45 USD. I would expect that for those of us in the US, they'll show up on Amazon first for pre-order, and then come to physical stores later on. I may or may not do a review after I get mine, no promises, but regardless, I am very excited to try it out for myself. If you want to talk more about the Tamagotchi Paradise, we do have a non-Digimon VPETs channel on the Discord server, so check that out using the link in the description. Until next time, bye!